BJ Callahan's not messing around right now. Now, there is a change in the midfield. Gaston Brugman, who is more than capable to the mantle. He, too, rolls out quite the strong lineup. Change in goal. Kim comes back in, but Ozza gets the night off. This back three wants to be dense.
Now with DC United trying to help turn this around and maybe take them to their 4th Open Cup crown. Nashville gets the first touch tonight at Geodis Park, and here we go. Good sprint upfield by Perez. He will not feature in the game at Miami. Red card in the 63rd minute in the league match, a 1-0 victory against Philadelphia on the weekend. Greg Dopka brings play to a halt.
There's certainly contact, there's no doubt about that. The key question for me is how much open space you see it play out in front of you is going to be available tonight, and for which team. The idea of how the game could play out for each manager. I was talking to BJ Callahan, he said, in Nashville back on May 17th, DC was willing to sit lower and absorb more, but when they visited us, they came higher. They weren't super aggressive up high, that they squeezed us onto the sideline. And he said, I anticipate them being even more aggressive this time. Troy was saying he was kind of caught in a gray area, wasn't he? That he felt like they wanted to be more aggressive up high, but not necessarily with their 10s.
Ronnie unloads and scores! Bar down, what a goal! That is a monster hit for DC United! And lights the fuse in this quarterfinal.
The whole identity of this team going forward is based on Christian Benteke, but when you don't have the playmakers to actually create from within, then you really struggle. You come one-dimensional on the outside. Instead now, with Peglo and Pirani, you have the ability to challenge centrally, and that's exactly what happens. Quickly drops that shoulder, and especially with Herrera's in a 2v1 right now. Cervania just picked it up there, but quickly. That's a numbers game on the back post right now for Nashville with Palacios in.
Mukhtar hangs it up. Surridge. Well, you put 3 in the wall and you left.
Stick a little bit more, Mike. You still keep the game in front of you. Now, you don't want to give away the ability to play short, but no one was stepping into that area, so it's almost always in that situation with the card shown. Going to be a ball into Surridge. Palacios, Mayer. Very fortunate they're able to get anything out of it.
Ball whipped in front, Benteke, ball slid toward the goal and leaks over the line. Disaster for Nashville. Benteke's pressure helps DC United double their lead.
Yet within all of it, it is almost always going to be the width. BJ Callahan acknowledged that immediately. He said service from the outside areas. Countering or not, we have to limit it. Have to be able to get pressure on Benteke, but we cannot allow them to find passages in. They let both go awry. Benteke's up high.
As we found out last night with Omar, this ball slotted home by Perez. Took a deflection off a DC player, landed right on Jonathan Perez, and they pulled one back in no time at all. Can't write that script. 25 minutes in, 2-1 DC.
People at home are going to be critical of DC United, and I'm going to understand that, but also you have to tip the cap to the pressure here for Nashville. Watch Sammy Surridge. He just pushes him into the sideline. They use it to their advantage. The recognition by Alex Boyle, and then you bait him into it. Right here. You can't.
Mukhtar. Away from Surridge. Palacios settles. Mukhtar with a deflection finds Kim.
One of the stranger half hours we've seen in this competition.
Yeah.
For the visitor on the road. It's a really good look right there, though. Look how tight they're trying to make it on the inside. They box the midfield and still have a presence outside. You got to stop giving the ball away there.
Mukhtar, tough hit on Enal. Continues. Lovitz. Mukhtar knocks it down. Perez. Mukhtar leans. Brugman. Enal still a little shaken up here. Ball for Dahar, siphoned off by Schnegg.
I'm not sure the locks were made for on-camera appearances, nor would the misses allow it in the front door. This area right here for me for Nashville that's struggling a little bit, the relationship between Gaston Brugman and Eddie Tagseth. For me, Eddie and Yazbek are top 3 duos in MLS, and the way that they work off of each other, the understanding. They're both getting caught on the same plane, or when one drops, the understanding of when to play in so that you can play around or up high.
Nahar unloads. Kim steered it far enough away from Sturridge, who was waiting.
Out of the field, and it's that initial ball in that frees him up with the ability to then become forward facing. He actually has to track back to it, but then within it.
Tar high. Tagseth. The return. Surridge trying to break free. Palacios went up for it. Another corner. 1 added minute. Ollie Trost Barton, Tony, Grella, Lahoud. We'll take you through halftime for the Golazo Network studio in a moment. Unfortunately, no highlights from Philly. Union and Red Bulls postponed. This is the only game of the night in these quarterfinals. 2 extra time games yesterday. Austin in penalties over San Jose, Minnesota. Extra time. Nahar with a deflection will go wide.
For Manny Nahar, the ball difficult to deal with. It's got a slight little bounce. Actually drops itself quite evenly on the carpet at the tail end of it. But he's got to come back across the body. Look at the angle he's got to go for. And just at the tail end of it, Daniel Lovitz, the kiss of death to eliminate the equalizer.
And that is how the first half concludes.
A bit more consistently for Nashville. I'd like to see better utilization of the midfield. And if you have to stay outside, just be quicker to work that direction and take advantage of the space.
On to the second 45 tonight. Should Nashville equalize, the potential for an additional 30 minutes looms large, with both these teams set to play again on the weekend. There's Tagseth. That's more like it. Mukhtar. Ani Mukhtar out wide. Herrera, penalty. A handball puts Surridge to the spot. Could hand Nashville an equalizer now. Surridge scores! We're level in the Music City.
A credit overall for the initial creation, too, the way that they work the ball. There's the overlap that B.J. Callahan wants, and it's unfortunate, to be fair. Still not necessarily fully endurance for 90 minutes.
They're running out of time to be impactful. Ball into the area with Surridge in the crosshairs. Brugman finding Perez. Didn't skip through. Spin by Peglo. Wins a free kick. Cuts Peglo. Garani gets the return. Spots Herrera wide. Benteke awaits. Chipped up Benteke. Geodis Park in Nashville. Near perfection for Nashville at home in this tournament historically. Winner on to the semifinal. They would go to New York or host Philadelphia in September, pending that postponed game's result in August. Meandering Perez. Surge. Chipped up toward Nahar. Nodded away. Falls to Mukhtar. Hani Mukhtar.
Neither of those teams had a very good domestic campaign, and yet come cup time.
Drops to Baji. Baji! Well, similar to how Nashville got back into this game. It's just a bit awkward out of the back on this end. Baji was nearly the beneficiary. Never got to Shawaki in the end.
This was awkward too for Andy Nahar, the way that he comes up underneath it. Sort of rolls his ankle as he steps through right down there on the bottom. It's just the way that he lands, and a credit to Baji, the touch out in front of him as he comes back across. He can't really get it on the right. If he's going to go with the left, it almost always has to be a little poke.
Still a little bit hampered, it looks like. Nahar, he's starting to walk it off. Did say that deep in that 2014 run for BJ Callahan in Philadelphia, the appreciation for the competition. He made a couple of really good runs in Philly over his time there. All into Mukhtar. Mukhtar trying to lead and wheel. Hands back. Mukhtar settles. Back from Perez. Perez dances by Schnegg. Perez kept it alive and swept in by Surridge. Perez does all the hard work. It is a fifth multi-goal game in Old Tops this year for Surridge. And Nashville, from 2 goals down, have the lead.
The narrative in the first half was just about decision making and how quickly you could go from A to B. Watch Palacios. Really nice, clean ball into Perez. And this little hesitation back to the inside. We saw it in the first half. He got Schnegg to square himself up. Takes the bait once again. The acceleration ever present for Nahar. Reciprocated by the man on the right flank with him. And even though the little tussle that drifts in behind, his adjustment.
Leaning. Ball whipped across, kept off the line. Any hope for DC rode on that clearance. He never knew he had the ball because they had the metallic numbers on black jerseys.
Fan favorite and commentator's nightmare all at once.
Yeah, that's right. Given away to Surridge. Karam's by Kim, sneaks wide of the post, and DC is trying to hand away that fourth goal.
And the ball just doesn't need to go there to begin with. You know, you're putting your player in an immediate 2v1 and 3 when you allow Surge to come over. Not that dissimilar from the opening goal, albeit he had more time in that situation, Herrera, to release it. This one, just come long. Reset your lines up high. Gather organization. structure within your shape and start your plan of attack. Instead, you've gifted Nashville another quality opportunity.
The way DC is attacked tonight, another goal would certainly feel like the end. Mukhtar skims high. Nahar! Oh! Andy Nahar, a stunner! Unbelievable goal for Nashville! DC's former star boy! That is one of the goals of the tournament.
He has come back with an absolute vengeance into Major League Soccer, but cup competition is a whole nother animal. No tactics, no breakdown, just class. And for Andy Nahar, it is permanent.
Yazbek was waiting to enter. I don't think they're judging based on who has the longest unbeaten streak in North America, but
matters none.
It is quite impressive.
Matters none. The quality that this Nashville team has been able to display, understanding that the project starting as that man took over. BJ Callahan, hired in July, first game in August. Certainly not ground up. The steward, Kerry Smith, departed the club. The only manager the organization had ever had, USL or MLS level, and to change the identity on the field, Mike, but even more so, what a ball that
Nahar,
is.
come on, Surge! He's looking for his third hat trick this season.
Situation, unreal ball by Andy Nahar, by the way. Tied for 15th in overall assists, 7 to his name. At one point in time, he was third in the league, and most by a defender. Kai Wagner and Andrew Gutman.
Brugman, header smashed in! Walker Zimmerman, the exclamation point! They're for real. 5-2 ahead, their first semifinal is within reach.
Is there any other way that this night was to end? Back from international duty with the United States men's national team. The fear implanted into this group early on this year truly revolutionized the identity of this organization that was a bit in limbo.
Hammered from range by Jackson Hopkins, who just came into the game.
And now understanding for DC United that this has become elusive quite rapidly. The night almost assuredly done. Certainly it is for that man right there, Sam Surridge. Job done. Hit pay dirt once again. Can almost do no wrong. Andy Nahar
Can do no wrong. Wow.
His service, the wonder strike, and another one that has found a resurgence of form under BJ Callahan. Josh Bauer. Took a while to get going, but no doubt that this attack can sting you in so many ways.
Will take them to 15 games unbeaten, a 5th consecutive win in all competitions. They've lost just once at home all season. And they'll head to Fort Lauderdale in a few days' time and play an enormous game against Inter Miami. It is full time tonight. Zimmerman, the final blow in what is a 5-2 win for Nashville SC to reach their first ever Open Cup semifinal.